Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk a little bit about the high interest rate environment. I know it's a topic of conversation for everybody, like when's the right time to buy a home? Should I buy a home now? Should I wait till later? And you know, there's a little bit of a difference in the answer to that, and it really depends on your situation. So we're going to dive in today to talk a little bit about how you can take advantage of this high interest rate market and see what works best for you in the current environment and see how we can get you into a home if that's ultimately what you want to do and that's your true goal. The number one topic on everyone's mind right now is interest rates. What are they? What have they been over the past couple of years? And how do I wait this thing out, what seems like forever, with the higher rates? The reality is we went over a couple of years span where things got super low. I understand we were well below 3% interest rates, and that was great. It did definitely present a great buying opportunity where you could get a home maybe a little larger than you thought you could, but you got to think about some of those things that come with a larger home. Things that people didn't think about were, oh man, my property tax may be a little bit higher. Just the heating and cooling on this bigger home alone cost me more per month. And so those are the hidden costs sometimes in home ownership that people don't think about, and they should when they're getting a little bit bigger home. So now one of the benefits to the higher interest rate environment is maybe you're like, I just can't afford that 3,000 plus foot square home right now because it's going to be way too much monthly payment. But the 2,000 square foot home, 2,500 square foot home, that's still comfortably within my range. And when you think about it overall in the package, you're probably going to get a much better deal. You're going to get in a house that's a lot more livable. You're going to be able to clean it easier, heat it, cool it easier, and just overall maintain it in a much easier way than you could a much larger home. So to me, that's a great advantage to take over right now in this high interest rate environment, is getting the home that really suits your needs. And maybe isn't one of those like, hey, I wish I had these things. We often wish we had much bigger things that when we get them, we realize it takes a lot more to maintain them than we thought. So sometimes it's better to get the appropriate size home. And the other thing in this higher rate environment is on the buyer side, you have a lot better negotiating power than you did when interest rates were a lot lower. When interest rates were a lot lower over the last couple of years, the bidding frenzy was crazy on homes. We've seen homes here in the Hampton Roads area where people were going as high as $50,000 or more above an appraised value of a home. And if you're not familiar with the appraised value of a home is, that's what someone says to the bank, hey, this property is worth, let's say $300,000. In that example, people were willing to pay $350,000 or higher for the home just because they wanted to get into that home. And that was partially because interest rates were low, which brought in a lot of competition. But when you really think about it is, how much can you save now in a higher interest rate environment when you're not overpaying for that home? You're definitely going to get it at appraised value or well below that potentially. And see over the years, maybe no one knows for sure, don't have the crystal ball, but likely things do go in cycles. So as the interest rates go up, there will be a time where they will taper off, kind of flatline a little bit, and then more than likely they will go back down. Now, will they go back down into the below 3% that we've seen in the past? I don't know. They may go lower, or they may stay a little bit more elevated, let's say in the 4 or 5%. So really you can't time the market, and trying to time the market is going to put you on pause, and you're definitely going to make opportunities pass you by. You never want to just sit there while opportunities are passing you by. One of the other things I'd like to talk to you about right now, also in this high interest rate environment, is you may have heard a lot of things in the lending world about a 3-2-1 buy down or a 1-0 buy down, and you're not really quite sure what that is. Let me quickly explain that to you and see how you may be able to take advantage of that due to the higher interest rate environment. So as an example, in the 3-2-1 buy down, if your interest rate initially was say 8%, in the first year it would be at a 5% interest rate, and then the second year it would go up to 6%, and then the next year would go up to 7%. And ultimately, if for a chance the rate hadn't come down lower than 8% by that time and you weren't able to refinance, then the rate would go back to the original 8% that it was when you originally purchased the home. Now, something to think about is I would highly recommend that you do the math and make sure that even at the 8% rate, you're comfortable with affording that home. And you're not trying to get too far over your head by saying, oh, well, at a 5%, I can have this home. And then if it does creep up to 8% and by chance the interest hasn't gone down, you're like, man, how do I really afford these payments now? Definitely want people to make responsible decisions, and just know that these programs are here to help you at a lower rate right now, but it's only temporary. You need to be aware of that. You need to make sure that the best time to buy a home is when you're ready, both personally and financially. So if you don't think you can really afford that home at 8%, then it might not be the best opportunity for you to purchase a home of that price point. You might want to look at a home that's a little bit smaller price point that you could afford at the 8% if need be. These are just the responsible decisions you should be thinking about when trying to purchase your next home. Another great thing to think about during a higher interest rate environment is the negotiation power that you're going to have as a buyer. When you're going to purchase a home right now, and there's some homes that need maybe a little bit of fixing up, And when you get a home inspection, you're typically going to find something in a home. I haven't seen a home yet that's been perfect through a home inspection, and that is to include new construction homes. It's just the way things are. Sometimes there's little problems. Maybe there have been a slight leak in the sink or something like that. It just happens. Think about your car. Your car's never perfect. I don't think anything in this world's ever perfect. But in the current environment, when you do go to purchase a home, the buyer is gaining traction and having a little bit more power in negotiation for the things that sellers are willing to fix. You have to remember, sellers are probably in a decent equity position right now. And what that means is if they purchased their home years back, homes have gone up in value over the years. So they may find themselves in, substantially a good position to make a little bit of money on the sale of their home. With that being said, in the current environment, you as the buyer may be able to take advantage by asking for things like, hey, can you help me with closing cost assistance? Or after a home inspection, if there's a decent list of things that should be taken care of, you maybe have a better time negotiating those fixes on the home. Where what we've seen in the past couple of years are people were just trying to rush in and get any home they could get, and they were kind of bypassing some of those negotiation tactics, and they were willing just to say, hey, I get it, there's a lot of things that need to be fixed with the home, I'll take care of that after the fact. Or, yeah, maybe I could ask for closing costs, but then I might lose this home, so I just don't even want to ask, just in case that someone else will come along and won't ask for those things. I would definitely say right now in the current environment, you're able to take more advantage of those things. That's a great place to be when you're a buyer. You have definitely more time to take a look at a home, take the night to think about it, put in an offer, have that full home inspection, not an information-only home inspection or foregoing a home inspection, which, by the way, we never recommend you do. You should always get a home inspection. And then after that, just saying, okay, yeah, I got it. I got the picture of the things that are wrong. These are what I'll take care of afterwards, after I purchase the home. Now is the time to find the home that you want, the home that you can afford, and get those repairs done for yourself. So when you're moving in, stress-free. Got the repairs taken care of, you're in a mortgage payment that you can afford and you're comfortable with, and that's when the right time to buy a home is, because you'll be able to move in there. No matter if you're looking to start a family, already have a family, want to be by yourself, it doesn't matter. Whenever you have a home, you have a sense of ownership, something that's yours, something that you can take care of and have pride in. And that's really one of the aspects of home ownership you can't find by waiting for the right rate or waiting for the right home at the right price point. And to me, that's the most important aspect of buying a home, is having something that's yours and something that you will love for years to come. Hopefully you learned a little bit something today about how you can take advantage of this higher interest rate environment. Don't let that scare you. Make sure it's the right time for you to buy a home. If you did learn a little something today, I hope you would give a thumbs up, subscribe, hit the notifications bell so you can find more instances like this where we can help you out with the Aulegre real estate team at Iron Valley Real Estate. Help you find the home you're looking for and become a homeowner.